I've been collecting trophies for going on 14 years. Ever since my brother introduced me back into PS3, I have been hooked and an avid trophy hunter. I've done some of the most notoriously difficult to some of the simplest cheap ones. Long games, short games, platinums I am proud of, and ones I'm not so proud of, and even given up on a few along the way. I've started a series just to sit down and talk about them in my experience as soon as I am done, and as motivation to push through some games that have been left behind. Whether it be platinums, 100%, DLCs, or games I officially give up on, I am Jambola, this is the Trophy Chronicles, and so let's get into it and talk about some trophies. Alright, hello everyone, welcome back for another episode of Trophy Chronicles. Series where I take a look at a game that I sit down right after I finish a platinum, 100%, or just give up on a game officially. And today for episode 3, the first with my brand new fancy webcam, which I'm very happy with instead of just blur at the bottom of the screen. So for episode 3 we have Police Simulator. The game where, if you don't know, you simulate being a police officer. Pretty self-explanatory. It's basically like a semi-low budget, I'd say. You see a lot of games in this style. It feels like a lot like the Supermarket Simulator, those kind of gameplay. The same kind of look. Oh, hello. Where we have a cat joining us. Basically, you'll start off with very basic stuff. This game has a total of 26 trophies, so 25 including the platinum. And I guess for people who like just the score, 7 gold. For a quick, easy game, that's not bad. It starts off basically, you just start off the game. All you can do is give people parking tickets or tickets for parking on the sidewalk, too far into the street, the wrong direction, basic stuff. As you play on, you'll acquire more tools, more stuff you can investigate, from minor crime accidents, major accidents, where you'll do things like check their ID, see if they're drunk, see if they're intoxicated in any way, which will lead you to arresting them. See if they're carrying illegal weapons, interview them to see how they've done, photographing the area to see all the evidence, towing any trucks that need towing away, and you can choose to arrest people yourself and escort them back to the station, or call for somebody else to pick them up, calling for ambulances if need be, stuff like that. Proper burglary crime scenes, traffic stops, or finding wanted people, stopping drug deals. You'll also get more locations to unlock, which are not really that different, to be fair. If you, even with the biggest fan of this game, I say if you toss me to one area and say, "Where am I?" they won't be able to answer you. But that's basically the structure of the game. As you get points, which you get for, what's the word they use in the trophies? Justifiable. When you justifiably arrest or give people tickets, you get points. Do something wrong, you lose points, you get a total score at the end, and your badge number increases, which is how you unlock new stuff and new locations. That's the structure, that's the loop. In a shockingly addictive loop it is. I didn't expect to love this game as much as I did, but I ended up flying through this platinum in less than a month. I play this game nearly every day, and I'll probably continue to do so just to finish everything, because you don't need to finish the game completely, which even using the word finish the game probably seems inappropriate for this. But I've basically said most of what I can say about it in terms of just gameplay already. You just run around the streets or drive your car from accident to accident, crime to crime. And there's really not much more to say about it. I'd say the other thing, it's a really buggy and glitchy game, which, for better or for worse, sometimes it'll be fucking something as small and silly or pointless as somebody floating. Sometimes it will annoy you because when they're floating or in the wrong position, you can't talk to them to finish your investigation. Sometimes it's absolutely beautiful.
We need support. Who's available?
But yeah, I really can't say much about the game itself, but I'm just going to go right into the trophies a bit faster than usual. I'm going to split. I usually like to try to split these into multiple sections to try to categorize everything. And for this, I'm going to basically into. It basically falls into 3 categories: progression, do the thing, Do the thing X amount of times. You'll start off getting plenty of trophies quickly enough for doing like simple little things for progression. Basically, get enough points, progress on. You get one for starting in this location, one for starting in that location. I think it's like 4 locations you get trophies for, but then you get one for acquiring your first police car, your first tool, your first equipment. That's basically it. I will clarify before anything else as well. This is going to be a much shorter one than Dead by Daylight. Even the 20 minutes of Dead by Daylight, this is going to be much shorter. Then you get a bunch of trophies for doing things for the first time, photographing your first piece of evidence, justifiably arresting your first drunk driver. They're very, very adamant on the word justifiably in here. You can't just go around arresting people for nothing. This is just a video game. You can't just be doing stuff like that. But yeah, stuff like your first car tour, your first ambulance call. Basically, most of the stuff you do just one time. You'll probably get most of these just playing the game normal. You get everything in this game playing the game normally, except maybe 1 or 2, which we'll get to in a sec. And even that's a maybe. But they're all just stuff that the game tells you to do anyway. I guess unless you were just, for some reason, just stuck to doing the exact same thing over and over and over. And then, like I said, there's the do it again and again and again and again and again. So you'll have photograph 120 pieces of evidence. Which sounds daunting as fuck, I know, but it's not. You will literally be taking a photo of a car. It's like back left bumper, like the bottom left of the car seat, like the car door, the bottom right of the car door, the headlights, the back of the headlights, the wheel, the piece that fell off, everything. You will take a picture like one side of a car, and boom, you'll have like 6 or 7. You'll in one crime scene you'll have like 40, barely exaggerating, like 30 you would probably have. In fact, 40 mightn't even be exaggerating. Between 2 or 3 cars, easy. You have stuff like report a certain amount of speeding cars, which was the toughest for me. Because I swear, I was keeping an eye on these for the first like 30 hours. I was always looking out for them. Didn't find a single one till I looked up how to a good spot for them. It was tough. But once you do find a spot for them, trust me, like there's one for doing 10, I think yes, 10 speeding cars in one session. I thought that was going to be tough. People even recommend do an hour-long session, because you can choose how long the sessions are, how long your shift is. It can be anywhere from 15 minutes up to 90. People are saying going for the full 60 or 90 minutes. Absolutely unnecessary. Once you get to the right spot, you will, it's like, if you're in the wrong spot, you won't find a single one. If you're in the right spot, I got my 10 of them. I think I got 16 in a 15-minute shift. Even though I took a while to find it, and it took a while for me to do it right. And I did like half the time I got to 10, so it's gonna be fine. Once you figure out where a good spot for them, you are going to get this in about 10 minutes. In like 10-20 minutes. Enough cars towed, enough ambulances called. They're all stuff going to come to you pretty quickly. The biggest one that took me a while and cost me trouble, again, except for the speeding one, which once you find the spot you're fine, was arresting 40 drunk drivers. Because I swear, there were so many sober people when I was trying to go for this last one. So if you're playing this game, I definitely recommend while you're trying to get the points, go for ones that might have drunk drivers, like accidents or traffic stops. Because, oh my god. The amount of times I'd go, like, oh, here, I'm going to this crime scene now. Ah, no drunk people driving. Fuck. And then, like, where are all the drunk people? Come on. And I go from I got 4 or 5 in a row, and at one, and finally I get one. It's like, wow, I've been playing this game for like 2 hours. I got one. And you have to get 40. Thankfully, I got at least 30 throughout my normal gameplay, so it didn't really ruin things, but oh. But yeah. It's actually nice to have a shorter one of these, because that's really all I have to say. I could go into a little more details, like, but realistically, I've given you the basic description. And like I said, it is a really fun loop. I really did enjoy it, more than I expected. I think the only big problems I'd say I have with this game, the biggest drawback, I feel like there's probably this thing with a thing with a lot of simulation games. While it can be a ton of fun, don't get me wrong, I had a blast with it. For the first like 20-30 hours, I was addicted to this game. I spent there for like, the first time I properly sank my teeth into it and actually played, I know I was there for like 9 hours straight, just shift after shift after shift, because I loved playing it. I'd be like, oh, I've done like 4 40-minute shifts in today. Wow, didn't even think about it. It is a lot of fun, but it's very surface level fun. You're very quickly going to realize the limitations, the restrictions, the repetitivity of it. to an extent where you just kind of feel like you're going from A to B, doing the thing, back again and again. And you are. And it feels a lot more fun at first when you think, oh, I can go here, do this thing, and do this and do that, and I don't know what I'm doing fully. Like, I still think the most fun I had with a crime scene was the time I didn't know how to do it, and the first time I did. After that, it's by the numbers, checking off a checklist. Not to say it's not fun after that point, but it's just the novelty dies off pretty fucking fast. I honestly think a bit of random variety would go a really long way. Like if you went up to grab somebody for graffiti, if there was like a slight chance they'd run away and throw the can at you, a slight chance they'd trip. If sneaking up on drug dealers had a slight chance that they'd had a smaller chance that they'd toss the stash. More chances of a, somebody you arrest just running in the handcuffs. Somebody tried to arrest for drunk driving, just jumping back in their car and trying to speed off. Just little things like that. It's a little variety of things. Even if it's like a 1 in 500 chance, or like a 1 in 100 chance that these little things would happen, I think that would go a really long way to breaking up the monotony. Just make sure that every single time you go to a scene of a crime, it's not exactly the same. Every traffic stop is the same. Every minor major accident is the same. And this would really, really fix that. Make it feel less restrictive and repetitive. So I'm getting into the ratings really quick. For the fun factor of this game, well, admittedly the last half of it, or not last, I'd say the last like third was less fun. It was still fun. I think we're gonna go with a 7. I think that's fair. I think if I was to stop playing after 20 hours, it would have been like an 8 or 9, but I think a 7 is fair because I don't know if I'd come back to it when I'm done. The limitations do kind of wear on you pretty quick, and the glitches can be fun. Like some of them are absolutely hilarious. Look, I just see people like hanging out of a car for no reason. So it is pretty frustrating when I'm gonna go talk to this person, then there's oop, no, I'm up here now, and you'll get called constantly when I try to talk. Like, I'm just gonna drive from A to B. We need you here. We need you here. We need you here. Like fuck off. All the map is shit too. You have a map, nothing is indicated on it. Like some levels only have the police cars because they're marked on the map. If you don't have them on the map, you are shit out of luck for where you're gonna find the place. Because you have to escort people back to the station sometimes, and the map is empty. Do you know what makes it more fucking annoying? There's a random people show up on the street asking for directions, and that's part of your job too to get points. And the entire map has indicators, waypoints, locations. You can see where they are, what they do, what the place is. Why? Where are these when I'm looking for on the map? Where are these when I'm playing the game? Why only when I'm looking for directions? I understand they're not constantly filling the map because that'd be very ugly to look at a lot of the time. But make it optional. It'd be the exact same thing. Just have it. You have it here. Put it here. Why? I cannot understand for the life of me. Some of these things do distract and take away from the fun, and it can be really frustrating. But not too much. I think a 7's a fair score. Difficulty. What can I even say about difficulty for this game? There's nothing about this game as a challenge. The closest thing that can even possibly consider a challenge in this game, given that everything in this game is either do thing once, which is, I think 90% of this game you can do with one hand. And given that the fact that most of the trophies are do this thing once or do it a bunch of times, it's all accumulative. Even if you're the slowest person ever and you can only do one thing per session, if you can turn the game on for 90 minutes, you're like, damn, I got one car towed. You're eventually going to get this. It'll take forever, but you'll get there. And the only 2 trophies in the game that are required to a certain amount of things that you could technically not do accumulatively, like, I'll try that again, are to arrest 3 people in one session, which is unbelievably simple. Like, you'll get call-outs less than every minute. Respond to them, do your job there, you'll have somebody arrested. And the 10 speeding cars in one shift, which is, like I said, if you don't know where to go, and you don't figure out pretty quickly that when you're in the right spot, a lot of them come by, yeah, you might have trouble. You might have to look this up, but they're the only 2 that you can't just do by just playing the game. You can do it once a day. There's nothing else in the game that you can't just pick away at. So I really can't justify giving this anything more than a 1. Again, it's a simulation. It's not designed to be a difficult challenge. As for time, this platinum took me a grand total of 100. No, what am I talking about? Of 46 hours. I wasn't going for this like 100% of the time. I just play away myself. I wasn't even looking at the trophies the whole time. Sometimes I'd be like, oh, I know there's a trophy to do this. I look at them and I. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll get a trophy and I'll just instead of looking through them all at once, I'm like, oh, I got trophy number 12. So I'll have a look like whatever I can see from that location because I might be able to see like trophy 11, 10, and then 13, 14. Instead of looking at them all, just pick away like that. But yeah, 46 hours, probably going to take most people like 30. Some trophy guys give it even a 20 hours, which I think is probably more fair. 20 to 30. If you're slow like me, 40. And if I'm going to give an overall rating, with everything accounted for, I'll give it a 6. Like I said, the biggest problem I think with any simulation game for the most part is like playing with AI. You very realise the restrictions and oh, you think that everything's so open and new, but you very quickly realise how self-contained some things are. You very quickly realise the surface level restrictions. You kind of realise how shallow some of the restrictions can be. It's clearly not meant to be played for hours at a time. It's meant to be something you play away for a little while at a time, I think. That's the best way I can describe it. But yeah, I don't. If you've ever played Police Simulator, gone for the platinum, let me know what you thought. It's definitely one of the easier platinums out there for anyone who likes to go for just the easy ones. And again, 7 gold trophies, can't go wrong with that. It might take you a little bit of repetitive grinding because again, that's probably your biggest part with the go for platinum if you don't like doing that stuff. I'm fine with it. I'm just lying back, picking away at it. Didn't have to focus too much. I could just do things. I knew I was never going backwards in terms of it. It's not like it's not like playing Call of Duty on veteran. It's like, oh, if I don't get to at least one checkpoint, I haven't progressed. You're always pushing away slightly. But if you did it, let me know what you thought of it. Also, it's free on PlayStation Plus if you have that, so I definitely recommend trying it out. It's more fun than you might think. It's definitely opened the door for simulation games for me that I would definitely want to try more. The same company's making Paramedic Simulator. I'm genuinely excited for that one. Can't wait. I was even thinking while playing this, you know what? This kind of game, but as a paramedic, would be fun. Turns out they're making it. Yeah, thank you for watching my 3rd episode of this. For the next one, I might go for again because I like to give a few options what I might go for next. Usually 2. Vampire Survivors is still on the possibility list. The possibility list. I'll sort out the angles better in the future. It's my first time to do it with a new webcam, so. And I'm gonna be honest, other than that, there's nothing off the top of my head I'm really close to. Who knows? Maybe if the bug hits me, genuinely wasn't an intentional pod. That genuinely wasn't intentional. Maybe I'll do Mosquito, Mr. Mosquito. That was just a happy accident. But yeah, I'd say Vampire Survivors has a good chance. I haven't even checked what the trophies I need for that is because I'm just playing it and getting a bunch of 129 in that one because there's like 200 of these things. Yeah, thanks again for watching and see you for the next one and see you for the next platinum.